Incoming transmission.
Hey everybody, this is Ed, and it's another Boosting the Signal. And this week, my guest is Foz Rotten. You may not know him, you may have seen him, you may follow him, I don't know. But by the end of this hour, you're going to know him really well. Foz, how's it going, man?
Doing great, man. Thank you for having me on. I've been a big fan and supporter since day one. Love all your stuff going on, and I'm super happy to be here. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I do keep track of who supports. I keep track of, not, I don't have a list. I'm not like, all right, well, he shared that today. Okay. But not anything like that. But I do keep track in my head, like supporters and everything else. And I try to share and support those that support. It's only fair. But also, I have a list of people that I want to talk to, and you've been on the list since, well, quite a while now. So I'm glad
Well,
you're
thank you,
here.
sir.
I got to tell you right off the bat, I love your background. I love everything. You have what I want behind me. Like you've got your figures and stuff. Although I'm crazy and I'm opening mine. So
I I need to. I've reached the point in my life where I'm like, I need to finally just open and it'll make a lot more room, and stop holding on to boxes. I like boxes too much. The boxes have too much good art on there for me to just throw away. So I know even if I open them, I'm just going to end up like boxing up the boxes somewhere to hold on to them.
I get that. And I'm the exact same way. I have been for years. Like I have so many Star Trek action figures, Playmates toys, whatever, in what are they called? You know those plastic containers like you get at Christmas time. They're always
Yeah,
they're going on sale or whatever. I've got tubs and tubs. There you go.
tubs. Yeah,
Tubs of those full of figures. And so I've been taking them out and opening them up. And I think about something somebody told me, wow, probably 20 years ago. And this is not towards you, but this was towards me. And they said, if you're gonna have it in package and you're just gonna look at it, then you might as well just take a picture and look at the picture. And I was like, okay. And it kind of stuck with me, and it took about 20 some odd years to kick in. But I was like, yeah, I'm getting old. I'm
yeah.
almost 50. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and open them up and smell the 90s. So
Smell the '90s. I love it.
I,
I mean, yeah, I get that. I do. I'm a big lover of trading cards. I just can't afford trading cards. So whenever I watch stuff like you open up your packs of trading cards, I'm like, oh, I get the thing. I get a little of the same sensation that if I was opening them, because you're always like, oh, what's next? I watch a lot of those. What do they call them? Pack breakers or whatever
yeah.
on YouTube and stuff. Where even though I'm not a huge baseball guy or a huge whatever guy, like I enjoy seeing like someone open up a 1988 tops whatever baseball thing and just getting that rush. So whenever I find the ones for Star Trek or X Files or stuff I like, I'm like, oh, all the better. Like I have everything from like Cindy Lauper cards to Harry and the Henderson cards. I love all that junk, but it's so expensive you can't do it. So I spend a lot of my time watching videos like you doing it, or I'll even like I know there's a couple sites that will have them featured on there. And you can just click card by card and look at it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, it's giving me a little piece of the rush I want.
I stumbled upon a couple of those websites as well, and I started looking at them, and I realized that it was like packs that I'm going to be opening, and I went, oh no no, because I don't want to be spoiled. I want
Yeah,
to like the most recent one that I've been opening are the Master Series. These are from
yeah.
'93, and like I just opened another one today, and I've been having fun with these. My wife had found them at her work, and but among those, she had found some Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom cards, Back to the Future 2 cards, all still
Yes.
unopened and in the wax packs and everything. And I was like, how can I was like, I want to open them and I still haven't. I've had them for 2 months now and I still haven't opened them. And I
Oh,
think to
dude, that's
myself,
awesome.
it's a sign of strength. I'm telling you. But
But
I think, how
you
am I going to
reward
work that
yourself.
in?
Yeah, you're gonna
Exactly.
reward yourself with them. I wanted to show these off. I've bought these over and over since I was a kid so many times, and I'll like growing up, I would like lose them and stuff. And so, starting a couple years ago, I started recollecting them all, and I probably have about three full sets of these. But sometimes I'll just see a deal too good to be true, and I like the big boxes. So my favorite Star Trek sets are these TNG and original series official trading card sets from the 25th anniversary. It looks like,
Yeah.
um, and so it was the series one here in the silver, and then the series two in the black. And once you get into those, you get a lot of like repeat business. As you know, opening them up. But I just love it so much, just the thrill of like opening them all up and see what you can get and making your own little sets and everything. I need to go ahead and break them all and just make little different sets and sell some. But it's half the fun is just doing it whenever you want to.
Yeah, I had the series one box. I had one of those, and I did open those up, on the Instagram and everything. A friend of
Mm-hmm.
mine, oh, I'm sorry, what?
I just was yeah.
Oh, okay. A friend of mine had gifted me that box like 14 years ago, and it just sat. I mean, very literally sat in my closet and I was like, I'm never going to open that. It's. But then I realized it's not worth anything. If I don't open it, and it's worth my time, and so I
Mm-hmm.
had fun doing that. And you're right, there's a lot of duplicates, and I end up giving all the duplicates away. They became fodder for giveaways, like if people wanted stickers or whatever.
Yeah, I was doing the a similar thing. I have a band called Boldly Go. We'll do a shameless plug here. I don't
Sweet.
have the vinyl with me, but here's the CD and the cassette tape. And our album is called United Federation of Punks, and we're a Star Trek themed punk rock band. And for the longest time, whenever you would get merch from me at the table or order merch, I would always throw in some Star Trek cards that I had laying around, or for a while I had a bunch of extra Star Trek comics that at the merch table I would like let you pick your Star Trek comic that I
Oh.
had doubles of. But I quickly sold out of all the Star Trek comics, and but yeah. Well, I need to like get a new round of merch for Boldly Go and like be throwing in cards and stuff with it. That'd be really fun to start that up again for sure.
I want to know more about the band. Let's talk about the Boldly Go band.
Yes, Star Trek themed punk rock. I always called us either Star Trek punk rock or punk rock for the next generation. Those were like our two little terms. Boldly Go, we started in 2019. We have an album out on Coffin Curse Records out of Knoxville. It's called United Federation of Punks, like I said. You can stream us anywhere in the that you listen to your music, even YouTube, or you can go on Bandcamp and listen to it all for free. If you don't have a certain Spotify or Amazon or anything like that. Which Apple Music was always my favorite, but people have so many different ways they listen, YouTube Music and everything. And of course, we sold out of all of our original run records, vinyls, the CDs and the cassettes. Pretty much everything's sold out. I still have a few T-shirts right now, and maybe a couple cassettes if anybody's ever interested. But yeah, check it out. It's just fun punk songs that kind of take place in the Star Trek universe. That's how I always kind of wrote it. I never wrote it from a perspective of a certain person because that kind of locks you in. I just kind of wrote it as from the perspective of you're in the Star Trek universe and you're singing about things that has happened. So whether it be Khan or a lower decks top person or whatever, I have a love story about fell in love with Kronos. It's just like real fun, and we'll run the gamut of everything from hardcore punk to pop punk to any sort of punk that you want kind of on there. One of my favorites and one of our more popular songs is no win scenarios, and I always jokingly say that's my bouncing soul song with some more melodic punk, lots of sing along vocals. I love it. And then first contact was our first single, and I always get a kick out of on First Contact Day every year. It gets a lot of play, and people share it around and everything. And it's more of the pop punky kind of like Groovy Ghoulies, the Queers type stuff like that. If you know anything about punk rock, if not, just listen to it. It's fun, upbeat song about first contact.
I know a bit about punk rock, but what amazes me is like I've been following you for a while, and in my head I'm thinking to myself, how have I missed this? I mean, I'm sure at some point you had to have posted it, and either I didn't pay attention or I didn't catch it or something, but somehow this has escaped me.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go hard and heavy investigating this,
Well,
and
Boldly Go also has its own like little thing, like how you have a couple of different pages for stuff. Boldly Go band at Boldly Go band across the internet is everywhere. I never did a Boldly Go band Blue Sky just because I do so much on Blue Sky myself. I'm like, I'll just do all the Boldly Go stuff on Blue Sky myself off of the Foz Rotten page. I guess I should say that if anybody wants to talk to me online, I'm at Foz Rotten literally everywhere. Star Trek, especially on Blue Sky. I'm all over Instagram. As you know, I talk to you on there all the time. Those are probably my two favorite places. But if you want to reach me on Threads, I'll be on Threads. Whatever you want, I'll be there.
I was gonna give you time to promote at the end, but hey, we'll do it now. That's great. I love it. Yeah, you're definitely gonna get a couple of new followers, especially for the band. I gotta check that out.
Thank you.
As I say, when it comes to punk music, yeah, I like the Misfits.
Hmm?
I definitely, I do say Sex Pistols. I'm all about the Sex Pistols, and so it's, yeah, I dig it. I dig it. That's great.
Our
Um,
first couple songs we ever learned, because when you're a band starting off, you want to do a couple covers. Our first cover was it's actually recorded on the album. It's Phasers on Kill by Screeching Weasel. Because I was like, I'm starting a Star Trek band, I gotta have a Star Trek song. And we worked on a couple of that first practice and we did that one. I love our version, so it's on the album. But we also learned a couple Misfit songs. I think Teenagers from Mars and Skulls, and then we did a couple Ramon songs, Cretin Hop and Blitzkrieg Bop, just to, because when you're playing those first shows, you want stuff to get people going. So, if you like any of that stuff, check us out.
Great. I love it. Yeah, definitely gonna check that out. So now, as we've already established the action figure love and the love of Star Trek stuff, I'm curious, just because it's not something I get a chance to ask people very often. Do you have a holy grail when it comes to your figures or your
Like
collecting?
something I've been searching for, not necessarily. I love all the Playmates 80s TNG stuff. That's my sweet spot era of when I was a kid and actually came up. Like if I go to the shelf right now, I can pull down my communicator and my phaser and stuff I had whenever I was a kid. So there's a good mixture up there of stuff of like the Data and the Geordie I had when I was a kid, and like new stuff that I've bought and went back and bought. Um, but I got lost. What was the question? I'm so sorry.
Well, I was asking what do you have in your collection
Oh,
that would be your holy grail, that the one thing that you have. I mean, I
that I
guess,
have.
yeah, you kind of went with the white whale. You went with a white whale that I would have considered like something that you're looking for, but I want to know this. I want to know what's something that you're looking for.
Well, the thing that it's not even a hard to find thing, but here's my rule. I don't want to buy stuff off eBay just all willy nilly just because I can. I have to find it in the wild. And so when I go to conventions, especially Boldly Ghost played some conventions, I'm walking out of there like so broke I can't stand it. But I always find cool stuff. Or like go to a comic book store and you'll find it. A couple of the things I'm looking for is there was a action figure in the 90s produced that had like little baby Nog as an accessory, like little mini Nog as an accessory. Because correct me if I'm wrong, on Playmates, Nog never got his
Right.
own figure. He just came extra, right?
Yeah, he was with Rom. He came with his
Yeah,
dad.
yeah. So I want that one. I've never found that in a while, but I always want that because I love Nog. I'm like, well, I know that they're getting the recent round of toys just have its own Nog figure.
Yeah, one to
But I
sell.
haven't ordered any of that. I'd love to. I just don't have the money. And like I said, I'm more of a in the wild than ordering guy. And but so I've always wanted that. Now, as far as like stuff I found, um, let me look around here. Well, some of the cooler stuff I found are these like 3 packs of like of the hologram scenes of like Data, Worf, and Alexander in the Western garb. You know,
Yeah.
like I got a few of these things. I always really like that. I don't know where I have them now, but I had a Morn. The Morn figure was probably like within the last couple of years something I picked up. I was so happy about because I always wanted to mourn. I was like, woo! And like, so it's the little things. It's not nothing that you can't easily find, but like it's just like the little things I'm happy about. I do want a lizard Paris. I think they made a lizard Paris at some point.
They did, and you know, I don't have that in my collection either. And every time I watch a video that Sean Ferrick is doing, he has one in the background on his shelf, and I see it and I think, man, I need that figure. Man, I need that figure. And yeah, I completely agree with you about finding in the wild. If it's not finding in the wild, it's friends finding it in the wild, sending
Mm-hmm.
me text messages and saying, "Hey, is there anything on this wall you need?" And I always appreciate that because there is nothing better in the entire world than someone letting you know they're thinking about you when it's something as superfluous as a Star Trek toy.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love that. I
I've
do.
recently been gifted some really cool stuff. I don't have it up yet in my collection. It's just kind of behind me, so I don't know how low this goes. So the lower it goes, the more messy everything is because I'm still trying to put everything up. But I recently got
Wow.
uh, some TOS goodies somebody gifted me. These weren't mine originally. They had them, and they said, "Here, you would enjoy this more than me." And I was like, I do enjoy these. Thank you. I got a bunch of original TOS figures with these also. So I was happy about that. You know, any day you get free TOS toys is a good day.
That's a good thing. Yeah, I like that. I had a lot of things like that. Like I had the communicator from or not commuter, sorry, tricorder from TNG. I still had the Playmates version of that when I was a kid, and it was something I had kind of forgotten about. I don't have it anymore. Got lost in reasons. We'll call reasons. And I was looking at old pictures of my bedroom when I was 15, and I saw it on the shelf, and I was like, oh man, I don't have that anymore. You know, and it's I never even got to open it and play with it or anything. So
Oh
um,
man.
yeah, so I get the love. I understand that. And there's nothing better than a nice gift too. Like I said, someone thought of you. They knew what you wanted, and that's great. I do have the ROM with Nog figure that you were looking for. I found it 3 years ago on my birthday. We went down. We were in Dayton, Ohio,
Yeah, yeah,
and
I've played that in a
and
bunch.
and we ended up finding it in a toy shop just outside of Dayton,
It,
and so I was
Is it
happy about that.
the big place that I keep seeing people post now? I think it's in Dayton, about the throwback place where it's a house. And it's kind of like an antique store, but it's modern antique stuff of like everything from DVDs to like movie props and stuff like that. I can't remember the name of it, but I see all kinds of influencers going there talking about it, and I just see all the Star Trek stuff. I'm like, I gotta go.
No, no, it wasn't that. I haven't heard that or even seen that yet.
I'll find out the
Um,
name of that and let you know because that's a place I'm definitely going to book a Dayton show soon just to get up there and spend some extra time there.
it's like, yeah,
Um,
I gotta go to Dayton.
there's so many places that when you're in a band that plays around that you will just discover, and then you definitely plan on going back. One of my favorite places, I'll give them a shout out, is especially if you're a movie collector like I am, is it's called the Southland Dungeon in around Knoxville, Tennessee. I don't think it's in Knoxville proper; it's a little outside. But my record label, Coffin Curse Records, had put on a showcase at this place there at a above cafe, And so we went to play there, and they're like, Foz, you're not going to believe what's downstairs. You're going to be blown away. And I'm like, okay, I've seen some stuff in my time. Let's check this out. They take me, you got to get kind of like walk around the back in the South Lane dungeon. And you walk in, and it's just like every VHS, DVD up to 4K, all kinds of collector's cards for everything.
Wow.
They have video games. They have everything. They had to pull me out of there for showtime. They're like, Foz, we have to go. It's time for the show. And I'm like, but I got so much.
It's like I don't need to put my, instrument in this case. I'll just put all this stuff in there. Yeah, I am a movie fan. I love films. You can't see it right now, but I have an entire wall of movies. I
I
probably
do too.
posted. I probably posted pictures at some point. Usually it's, what are you watching first? Is like I'll
Right.
take a, but so yeah. Okay, so let's talk movies then. Let's
Okay.
let's.
So
All right.
I
So
did want to mention this. We were talking about. I'm
sure.
a big also Star Trek comic book guy. I got hundreds of Star Trek comic books, and another thing I try to find out in the wild and collect my pieces and everything. But my first love for collecting anything is the physical media, and I'm a big movie guy, like I was saying. But a while back, I definitely wanted to bring this up. We were talking about the action figures and everything. At some point I realized I had more random action figures, t-shirts, fun stuff of Star Trek than I had the actual series. And so I made a pact with myself about 2 years ago that I was going to not buy anything Star Trek until I had every single physical edition of Star Trek everything. So I just went back. I didn't have anything but like a random Enterprise Blu-ray of like season one, or like I had a couple of Voyager seasons. I didn't have any Deep Space Nine, didn't have any TNG. I had all the movies, but in like different formats, like, oh, I got a DVD of this. And so I said, I very meticulously wanted the best presentation of everything I got. It was right when all the movies came out in 4K, and so the very first thing I did was go to Best Buy, and got all the Star Trek movies on 4K with the slipcase, and it looked so good on the shelf. And then I would start. Now, this is one time I actually did have to go online to get this. I would use a cross between eBay and Amazon to get it, depending on what better price was. But I managed to get everything from TOS, animated series, TNG, everything through the new stuff. I was already collecting. I should say I'd been buying the steelbooks when they were available. They had switched to slipcase for most of them, of all the new Star Trek as they were coming out since Discovery season one. That's Discovery season two. I just showed. I'm in the process of watching it right now. That's why it was sitting out. On my bit. That's something else we can get into later. Is my full Star Trek rewatch. But I wanted everything, and I managed to get every single thing. And I am currently up to date that I have every single Star Trek release in its best form. So I'm very happy to say that. And as it keeps coming out, even though I didn't like Section 31 that much, I still got that good looking steelbook to put right there with everything. And because in my mind, I'm like, if you love something as much as I love Star Trek, I have to have it with me because, right now, if you want to watch certain Star Trek, certain animated cartoon shows of Star Trek, you pretty much have to have Prodigy on physical, don't you? Unless you paid for the digital code, which can be taken away anytime.
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, I appreciate the fact that you add the phrase in there in its best quality.
Mm.
I think that's great. I in some ways I emulate you. I'm doing the same thing. Like I'm looking up at mine. I have I have the original series on Blu-ray. I have the remastered original cut in Blu-ray. I have all the 4Ks on everything. I don't really do the steelbook. The only one I don't have a slip cover for is the original motion picture. The 4K for the motion picture.
Hmm.
It didn't come with a slip
Well,
cover. I looked on eBay, I couldn't find one. But otherwise,
well,
yeah.
With a motion picture, I'm still on the fence about getting that big Mac Daddy of a big box set that they released.
Well, don't. And I mean,
Okay.
sure you could, and you could get all the little accoutrement that comes with
Yeah.
it, you know. But here's the thing. Let me look at it. I want to make sure I get this right. I have it. They did release it in a smaller steelbook. You can buy it in a steelbook, the same version
Yeah. I
with
have the slipcase of the one. I can't remember if it's like the director's cut in the slipcase and the original in the steelbook or vice versa. I have them right back here on the shelf, but I have both the slipcase version and then the steelbook version, and one's the director's cut, one's the theatrical version.
correct. There you go. It's the same one that's in that set.
Yeah.
The theatrical cut is the same one. Everything identical except you don't get the accoutrement, the whatever,
Right.
whatever,
I,
stickers and books
I'm a
and
sucker. I try not to double dip if it's the same disc, but
yeah,
like I'll be honest, they re-released Star Trek 3 in a Walmart exclusive steelbook. It's
yeah.
exactly the same disc as my slipcase that matches with everything. But I saw it. I didn't order it, but I saw it at Walmart in the wild and I couldn't pass it up. It looked too cool. So now like it's sitting there next to like the full thing because I couldn't break up how good it all looked together in one row. So I
Yeah.
got basically it sitting at like the end. I got that. Steelbook of motion picture at the beginning of the run, so it looks so good. So let me ask you. This is a personal preference for everybody. I know when I had finally achieved what I was trying to do of getting all the physical media of Star Trek, I was like, what do I do? Do I do it in chronological release order? Do I do it like basically how do you set yours up? Because the way I did it was I literally went, uh, you know, TNG, you know, it's back here. I need to look at it some, but I went with like the TV shows up there, and then I did like the movies down here, and then I started the new Star Trek, even though some overlap. But I was so tempted to like break up the movies in between like the TV shows that they had came out. I don't know. I'm overthinking it. How do you set it up?
Okay, well, I do not own all of them, like the TV series is on DVD or Blu-ray. I don't have TNG in any form. I do not own DS9 in any form, and I only own 2 seasons of Voyager. That's it. And it's not for not wanting it. It's just,
Right.
but things. But no, for me, here we go. So, like, I have on my shelf, first of all, behind me are VHSs. Like, let
Okay.
me move my mic. You can see the VHSs behind me and DVD box sets of like the original series, the animated series, and then further over are the DVD releases. But the VHSs are here, and then there's more VHSs even further down because it's the full screen. These are widescreen here, and full screens are down there. But over here, I have original series one, two, three. Then I have the original movies. Then I have the next generation films. Then I go to all the 4K films. I have, and I mean all of them, even then Kelvin after Nemesis. And then I go to Section 31. Um, I do have Star Trek Picard. I have the box that has all of them. I have Enterprise Season 1, funnily enough, just Season 1. And then I have all of Discovery, all of Lower Decks, Prodigy. I have a couple of copies of Prodigy because my intent is if I ever hit 500 followers on this channel on YouTube, I'm going to do a big giveaway. I've got a stack of things to do a giveaway, and I've got physical copies of movies just sitting over there ready to be
Mhm.
given away. And then I have all of the captain or not captains, what were the fan sets, the ones that they put out where it was like, your favorite captain episodes, your favorite book.
Yeah.
So, and then I have the Orville. So,
Now, see, now that's a good question. Should I, at the end of my Star Trek rewatch, and we'll get into that in a second because that's something I want to talk about with you. Should I start the Orville? I watched the first two episodes of the Orville back in the day, didn't really get into it, and I just dismissed it. Should
Wow.
I get into the Orville? Do you think I'll dig it?
Beyond a shadow of a doubt. I mean, if you quit after the first two, and first of all, the first season is good, but I understand it's more of a live action Family Guy. You think there's more
I couldn't
humor
get
than
over it.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, I get that. I really do. Season two walks a fine line between the two, but I gotta tell you, season three, which unfortunately is not available physically, but season three is man. There are things in season two. There's an episode in season two that is right up there with best of both worlds level of good.
Hmm.
And like I remember when it came out, I remember posting on Twitter back in the day because I was on Twitter then. No evil bird now, but I remember posting that it was best of both worlds level of good. But season three of the Orville is Star Trek Picard season three level of good. Like I believe that the Orville season three is right up there with the highest quality sci-fi, in my personal opinion. I mean, there are this is a vast community of people that are going to dispel everything I say, but I'm sure someone will disagree. But I loved it, and I say it's worth your time. It really
I'll check it
is.
out. I'll check it out. I don't know, something about, I like Family Guy, but something about else he does, like movies and stuff like that, I just can't get into because all I hear is Family Guy.
No, I get it. I'm the same way with Once Upon a Time or was it not Once Upon a Time? What do you call it? Wild, Wild. I don't even know what it was. A Million Ways to Die in the West. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
I never watched it. I saw the trailer a million times, but I never watched it.
I watched it
Um,
one time. A friend came over with it, and he's like, "Hey, I just bought this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." We checked it out, and I was like, "Well, I did that. We're done." You know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
so, and then
Ted,
again,
I went and saw the first Ted in the theater,
mhm.
and I thought it was funny enough, but I never messed with the sequel. And at some point, there was a TV show. I'm like,
I
this is
like
too much Ted.
those. I
I can't do this amount of Ted.
I did like Ted. Ted, the first movie. The second one was I didn't like the second one as much, but I love the series. And it was really well done. Um, yeah, I like the series. It had a good ending. It ends really well, and it goes right up into the first film. So, um, I think it's well done. But you know, I guess when it comes to McFarlane, you got to decide what you like and what you don't. Hell,
Right.
you might watch the Orville and you might be like, "No, Ed's full of shit. I can't do this." And that's possible. But and if that happens, I want to know. I want to hear about it. I've considered like we're talking about the Orville right now. There's some people that are seriously obsessed with the Orville. One guy in particular, I can't think of his name, but I see him pop up on my social all the time, and I think, okay, well this guy he's holding out hope. I mean, this man does not let go of hope for another season, and for those people, I appreciate their love of the fandom because that's what we have for Star Trek.
Do you think they'll get another season? I thought it was
I've
over.
I've heard it's written. I mean, I've heard from different people in different interviews on different shows where they say, yes, it's written. We just need them to say go, whatever. It could easily never happen. There's a long list of TV series that have gone away too soon and we never got more that we always thought we would,
Oh yeah.
and it could easily be put on that. But if it only does get those three seasons, it's in good company. I mean, Star Trek only had three seasons and came back and had a reboot and movies. We could
Yeah,
get Orville films for all we know. Maybe they'll come back with their own version of the Monster Maroon.
that'd be cool. Um, I I've been on my Star Trek rewatch for a couple years now. It's taken me because I don't have a set standard. I'm gonna finish my Star Trek rewatch by a certain time or anything like that. So sometimes I do feel a little out of step with what is currently going on in Star Trek because I could be over here watching Enterprise season 2 just happy as a clam and everybody's arguing over whatever's going on. right now I have entered into what you would call the new Star Trek. Like I said earlier, I'm watching Star Trek Discovery 2, season 2, and my hope is I'm gonna be done by the end of the year, so that whenever we'll go through like the newest Strange New Worlds that's airing, I'll just go through that rewatch of that and close out the year. And then we'll be straight into Starfleet Academy in the new year, and then the last season of Strange New Worlds, and that's what I'm kind of hoping. My plan is, anyways, without being like I got to watch 2 episodes a day, 3 episodes a day. I'm just kind of casually putting it on anytime I have time to put on TV. And a lot of it, I'm trying to do physical media as much as possible. I've actually canceled my Paramount Plus subscription a while back, but I'm gonna have to get it because I haven't seen these new episodes of Strange New Worlds that have been airing. I think it's up to 3 or 4 now that I've missed, and it's killing me that there's Star Trek out there I haven't seen. But I was also contemplating, like, do I hold off and use it as a reward uh, at the end of my rewatch? Like, since I'm nearing it anyways, it's now August. Do I just wait until like November, December when I hit to where it's supposed to be? And I'm like, it could be one way or the other with it. But I am going to have to get Paramount Plus just for it and the other shows I've missed coming up. Um, but yeah, I've loved watching this full rewatch. I've been doing it by what I call real world timeline, the air dates. Um, and so to me, that was like the most interesting part of what I've been doing is I've been watching, like, say if it was a TNG Deep Space Nine era, whenever a Deep Space Nine episode or a TNG episode would come up on the timeline, whatever you watch next is what aired first. So
Yeah.
you sometimes you'd watch like 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine before you got back to an episode of TNG, instead of just doing the seasons. And that's how I've been doing it by air date. And if you follow me on Blue Sky, I've been posting and continuous timeline, and I think I'm in the 750s now with Discovery. I think is what it is, almost 760 episodes straight.
Yeah, I love a good rewatch. I admire the fact that you're doing it in air date order. That's really good. I've done a couple myself. Like you, I don't put a time limit on myself. Like when Voyager had their 30th anniversary, I decided to go ahead and rewatch Voyager. So I did that, and then I this year I was like, I'm going to rewatch Enterprise. I didn't realize I was going to be done as fast as I was, but I rewatched it. Discovery has been something I thought about rewatching. I did finish rewatching Picard all the way through recently. That did not take very long. Um,
I'm looking forward to getting to the Picard stuff on my rewatch because it's coming up. If memory serves, I'm halfway through season 2 Discovery right now. Then it's another batch of short treks because I watched the first batch of short treks between season 1 and season 2, and there'll be short treks. And then I think that leads straight into Picard because the last short trek is a segue like into what Picard season 1 will be.
yeah.
Um, and here's something I want to mention. I'd forgotten about this. Did you remember whenever they were releasing the short treks Blu-ray that they left off that last short trek and you had to purposely get the Star Trek Picard season 1 Blu-ray with it on there to get that last short trek? Dude, that makes me so mad. Of course I have them both. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, I'm like, would have really killed you just to put it on there and then also have that on the Picard season 1 as a bonus. No one's buying season 1 Picard on Blu-ray just to get the short trek.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
No, you're 100% right, and I noticed. Yeah, it's something I pay attention to. It's even outside of Star Trek, I keep an eye on that. Like I was recently, I've been trying to buy up all the physical versions of Doctor Who because I don't want to buy another app or pay for another app just to watch old Who. So I've
Right.
been trying to pick them up, and when I get to the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who, I was like, okay, I don't have any of the Jodie Whittakers, but I was like, okay, so they have this, they have this, they have this. And I'm like, okay, they have this, but it doesn't have this. I'm like, oh my God. And why? And it's some marketing genius that, thinks, ha ha ha, we're going to make them buy all these.
Mm-hmm.
And so, genius asshole, but whatever.
I got a public service announcement for everybody. I've said this a couple of times online, but I really can't get over how good it is to have at your disposal, especially when you're out and about just on your phone. Um, Up through Enterprise, right now, if you download the Pluto TV app, you can watch any Star Trek for free with ads, but for free through Enterprise on Pluto TV. Just go to the on demand and you can pick out whatever TNG or Voyager Deep Space Nine episode you want. Click, it's right there. And it helps me so much. Well, it was helping me through my Enterprise section of the rewatch because that was around the time that I stopped my Paramount Plus subscription where it was so easy to just click the episode on Paramount Plus. But um, it really helps me get through that when I can't put in my physical disc or I'm not at home or I'm on vacation or somewhere, whatever, traveling. But also, it's fun if you just want to turn on an episode of TNG you haven't watched in a while that's in your mind, turn it on. Now, I'm a huge sucker for when I'm doing stuff around the house and I just want TV on. I literally always just turn on Pluto TV and they have a channel for each of the freaking series on there pretty much. They even got a movie channel. I don't think that they have a dedicated Enterprise channel right now, but it's always on some sort of sci-fi channel they have on there.
I think
And
they have an Enterprise channel. They do.
it came and went at one point. They had
Oh,
one, then they
really?
took it off, and then it started because there for a bit you could have two different Enterprise episodes playing at the same time. Like one
Oh,
on maybe the Enterprise channel, I think it went away, and then one on like the Star Trek or sci-fi whatever channel. But like, and the movie channel came and went, and now it's back right now also. But I just favorite all of them. So whenever I turn it on, it's all at the top, and I just choose which episode I want to watch. It usually ends up being a TNG episode because I'm a TNG kid, and literally any time I click it, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll watch this one.
I do love Pluto. I use Pluto, even though it is part of Paramount. But I still use it. But the one thing I don't like about Pluto now is they got rid of, like, it used to be back in the day you could turn it on and it would just go to the whatever your last channel you
Right.
had playing.
Right.
And now it doesn't do that. And I used to love playing Star Trek Roulette. So I would turn it on and we would do two different things. One, whatever it landed on, that's what I was watching. Or two, my wife and I would play a game where I'd close my eyes. She would turn it on and she'd say, "Now, you tell me what episode it is." And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh." And sometimes I get them wrong, but most of the time I get it right. Or I would get the title wrong because I'd think, like, oh, it's the one where Data is learning to dance, and I would call it the wrong name or something. But
I'm not good with titles. I remember I'm about a little below average with titles, but I know people who can get every episode from just hearing a soundbite in like 1 second. It doesn't matter. They know the longest or the shortest titles.
yeah, well, I'm pretty good with that with like Friends. We'll sit there and we'll watch Friends, and I'll start saying what the characters are going to say before they say it. But it's the same way with Star Trek. I've seen it so many times, it's in my head, and but I got a lot of favorite shows. So
My
um,
wife and I rewatch Friends on a regular basis, like all the time. And right now, we'll occasionally throw on a. I think Ross's ex-wife just had his baby. Was the last episode we watched, and as soon as the episode starts, I'm like, oh, it's the one where Joey sits in with the birth of the one woman that's on like Kings and Queens, and she was on
oh
Saved by the Bell and
yeah,
everything like that. And then like she pops up, is like, so that's just another show that like we watch that and How I Met Your Mother and just sitcoms like that all
I
the
love How
time.
I Met
And
Your Mother. I,
yeah,
I, I I love that. I'm a big Barney Stinson guy, but I quote it all the time when people are like, the only people that haven't seen Star Wars are the people that were in the Star Wars because they were busy living the Star Wars. Like,
exactly.
um, yeah, and sometimes I'll paraphrase and stuff. Friends has been coming up a lot lately for me. Like, Have you noticed my new podcast?
Yeah, about the Invisible Man.
Yeah. Did you notice who I'm doing the podcast with?
Yeah, yeah. I've watched a couple episodes.
Okay. As I say, the one guy was Fun Bobby on Friends.
I didn't even realize. Yeah, he was from Bobby, wasn't he?
Yep. Yes, he was.
I didn't even realize that.
Yep. Yeah. As like a lot of people are like, who is that guy? I was like, well, did you ever watch Friends? And they're like, yeah, like Fun Bobby. And they're like, what?
From Bobby, yeah. What was it? His grandpa had died or something like that.
Yeah, and then that's when he had to quit drinking. They became
Mm,
moderately dull Bobby.
yeah, I love seeing all the early '90s guest stars on Friends, but um, that's another conversation altogether. And also, since I've given so much time to Friends, I do want to say that Living Single is the show to watch. Everybody watch Living Single. If you like Friends, Living Single is the better show. I love that show.
I don't
Queen
think I ever
Latifah.
saw that one.
It was the Fox version of it, and it was Queen Latifah, and just it was hilarious. It only went for about like 4 or 5 seasons, um, but it was before Friends, and there are so many episodes of Friends that are just like an episode that Living Single would have already released. That makes
Huh.
you go, wait a minute here. But no, I grew up on Fox shows like Martin and Living Color, Living Single, all that stuff. Uh, what was the one I really liked? New York Undercover.
Oh
Uh,
man.
like like I love all those shows. And but we went back and rewatched, did a Living Single rewatch a few years back, and it cracks me up so much that like we still like Friends and everything, but when you're watching it, you're just like, this is the best show ever.
Yeah, New York Undercover came up recently in a conversation with my wife and I when we
Oh yeah.
watched the movie Michael, and we were watching
Okay.
back Michael Jackson videos, and I said, "You see that one guy there and Beat It?" And she's like, "Yeah, second, he was on New York Undercover."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Was he an actor?" I said, "I don't think he was an actor yet. He got picked up because of the video, but
Yeah,
yeah."
every time you watch that Beat It video, you're like, oh, it's the dude from New York Undercover.
I
Um,
always loved 21 Jump Street.
me
I have them all on DVD.
Okay, so my big fandoms besides Star Trek, I have two big fandoms besides Star Trek. This is so funny. Quantum Leap is like my since birth my biggie. While I love Ghostbusters and stuff like that, the other weird random one I have a huge fandom for is 21 Jump Street. I'm like a self-proclaimed huge 21 Jump Street fanboy. Like I know so much useless crap about 21 Jump Street.
Same here. I recently started following a page on Insta or YouTube. I love it. It's called Remember When, and it's like 15 random facts about whatever. And it's such a rabbit hole page. Like I start watching them and I can't stop watching them. And he did one on 21 Jump Street, and that's what got my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I always knew that, Holly Robinson Pete did the opening theme song.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yep.
all know that. But what I didn't know was that the rest of the cast is in the song too. They're the ones that said jump.
No.
And I was like, I never knew that was
Yeah.
them. I was like, but yeah, I always loved that. And then I always like Stephen Williams was on it, and then I loved it when he was on Supernatural and stuff. And I was like, it's like, all right, Stephen Williams, I love
I,
Supernatural. So
I didn't get his autograph or anything, but I got to meet him at a Horror Hound convention one year, Stephen Williams, and it was just the thing we were passing each other like in the hallway, and I just went Captain Fuller, and he kind of did this like thing at me, and I was just like. I don't know what to say, but I wish I would have got something 21 Jump Street signed. But everybody was there for either Supernatural or his X. Didn't he like have a character on X Files that was recurring?
yeah,
Yeah,
I could not tell you for the life of it who he was, but
I
like
remember he got in a fight with Mulder one time or whatever.
X Files is one of those shows. I love X Files. Like
I do too.
I'd watch it. I love them, but I don't have the muscle memory on who was what and what episode or anything else. I think it's because they were like one time watch. I've never rewatched the show. I don't have a lot of it in my
Uh,
head.
Another show that's on Pluto TV, I'll just put on random episodes of because I'd started doing a full rewatch of it a few years back, and then I just fell off somewhere in season two. And so now, and I watched it all whenever it was on back in the day, and I'm sure I've forgotten a lot of episodes. So that's why I like now that there's an X Files channel on Pluto TV. That if I can't find nothing on Star Trek channels I want to watch, I'll just put on like that or Mama's Family or something like that. That like it's just comforting in the background, and I'll be like, oh hey, it's this weird episode of X Files. I'll just leave that on.
Do the same thing with Three's Company. I love like I'll put on
Mm-hmm.
Three's Company and just like let's see what Jack's gonna do today. You know,
Yeah,
like it was funny. It was really funny because yesterday was the 2 year anniversary. My wife broke down and she came home with a brand new like TV stand, like a like entertainment center, and she's like, put it together. And I'm like, okay, okay. So I spent the day putting it together, and I watched 2 seasons of Three's Company while doing this,
that's
and
awesome.
and it was in my Facebook memories. I'm like the day that I watched 2 seasons of Three's Company while putting that thing together, and I was like, it was a good day. I enjoyed that day. So
I'll do that with Cheers sometimes. I'll put on Cheers in the background while I'm doing stuff. Again on Pluto TV. If they're listening, hi Pluto TV. I'm ready
hey,
to
Leo, do you want
be
to
endorsed.
sponsor us? Because we're talking about you quite a
Yeah,
bit here.
and I'll put on like Cheers sometimes in the background because you can't miss with Cheers. You know, you'll
No,
okay. Even if you're not paying attention, you can come in halfway through and laugh at a Norman Cliff joke. You know,
yep.
and like it's I'll go through the whole day and watch like tons of freaking Cheers episodes. I can't do Frasier. Never was a Frasier guy, but Cheers, I'm
I
down for
I used to quote Cheers a lot, and I dated a girl named Kelly when I was younger,
it.
and so of course Woody's song for Kelly when he played the piano,
Mm-hmm.
it's still here, it's still living right here, and I anytime I hear the name Kelly, that's the first thing that pops into my head. So yeah, I love Cheers. Frasier, I loved Frasier as well. Even the reboot. I thought the reboot was really well done. Um, I don't, I may not agree with Kelsey Grammer on things, but I can separate the character from the asshole. So,
Yeah, he played a good beast. I'll give him that.
well, and I think he does again. I think I can't. I mean, I think he will again. I know he did recently in was it Ms. or the
The
Marvels?
Marvels. He pops
Yeah,
up at the main end. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
I I like those Marvel movies and everything, but they're kind of like one and done's with me. Like I kind of end up forgetting a lot of stuff. Like we went and saw the new Spider Man because we
nope,
always
nope,
went.
oh, oh, oh. I don't
I
want to
haven't.
hear
I ain't
anything.
gonna say anything about just because we go and see every Spider-Man and every Marvel that comes out, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was had a really good Punisher in it. You know, Punisher's my dude. I love Punisher and everything. But I could tell you this: I haven't watched one of those Spider-Men before this, and since I saw it in the theater, and I could barely like remember half of it. Like I always
Did,
enjoy them, but I don't go back.
did you watch John Bernthal and the Punisher that they put out before the
The TV series.
yeah One Last Kill?
No, I haven't. I'm real bad with all the TV series. I haven't watched any of the TV series since they were actually on Netflix. I know that they're all on Disney now, and I don't have Disney.
Well, I'm talking
I
about the
didn't
new
watch any
one.
of
Like
those.
they did one episode. It was just one short, and it was called One
Okay,
Last Kill. It takes place before the new Spider-Man. So
okay,
but it's worth checking
I'll
out.
check it out.
It's on Disney and Hulu.
I really
Uh,
liked him in that season of Daredevil he did before they gave him like his own Punisher spinoff TV
yeah.
series. Because I tried watching that Punisher TV series and it was fine, but I had problems with certain things as like an old fanboy, and I was just like, you know what? I like him as the Punisher. I don't really like this writing. I'm good. I just kind of stepped away from it. But I thought Daredevil, was it season two with him in it was
Yeah.
great. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, well, I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday, and he was talking about he can't wait for the new Daredevil season. I said, yeah, it's going to be good to see, like we know from leaks online and pictures of the cast, so it's not really a big thing, but we know Iron Fist is back, and he's like, oh, I never saw the Iron Fist show, and I'm like, how did you not watch the Iron Fist show? He goes, I did, you know.
We watched the first season. Did it get a second season? Because I know we
Yeah.
watched Defenders in the first season, and somewhere around probably season two, Iron Fist is whenever we like kind of tapped out of the Marvel shows. My wife really liked Jessica Jones. We both like Luke Cage a lot. The thing that became the ongoing joke with me and my wife about Iron Fist is, even though it's supposed to be secret who the Iron Fist is, every single scene he says, "I'm Danny Rand, the Iron Fist," or like anytime somebody says, "Hey, it's the Iron Fist," and somebody goes, "Danny Rand," or vice versa, it's like everybody knows Danny Rand is the Iron Fist.
Jessica Jones was one of our favorites. My wife's name is Jessica, and so like when Purple Man would Jessica, you know, like so I would always yell for her in stores like that, and she's like, "Stop it, just stop it," But
I loved the Luke Cage series. I thought it was fantastic, man. Because I'm a big hip hop guy, anyways, and all the Wu Tang usage in that and everything. I was just like, oh man, this is the best.
yeah, I when I was growing up, some of my favorite, like I've always been a comic book guy, and some of the comics, like my mom would always buy me comic books, and she always picked up Power Man and Iron Fist for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of Power Man and Iron Fist, and so when they were announced, Luke Cage, I'm like, oh, that's Power Man, and and it's like people are like, who? And I'm like, just trust me, and
Yeah,
like so yeah, I was really excited about that one, and I'm all about hip hop as well. We finally started watching the new Ted Lasso last night, and there's a part where you know something happens and someone's reciting something, and I don't want to give spoilers in case anybody hasn't seen it, and I laughed, and my wife's like, "What?" And I said, "Oh, it's Public Enemy." It was like it was Public Enemy quotes, and
that's awesome.
it's like if you grew up on Public Enemy, you understood.
Yeah, I've never watched Ted Lasso, but I will say this: Chuck D is. I was trying to look for the CD. It's around here somewhere. Here it is. Chuck D is one of the coolest people I've ever met,
Oh, yeah.
and he signed a CD to me after a show one time, and he was just like the coolest dude ever. Chuck D, he's the man.
Yeah, no argument from me. Not at all. Yeah, I love like I had another interview with another individual and they they were telling me they lived in Arizona and I'm like first thing that pops
That's
into
how we
mind
get
is
to
Public Enemy.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's just the way my mind works. And I've been getting my wife into Anthrax. We've been watching a lot more
Oh
Anthrax
yeah.
videos and music. And I was like, I was like telling her like, well, Charlie and the drummer, and she's like, how? And I was like, because we were into Funko, so we would do the Funko stuff, and Charlie's a big Funko guy as well. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, so, and then even today's episode of the podcast that is out right now, as you and I are talking, that gets discussed on that episode too. So,
I'll have to check
so
that one out. It's on my queue. I haven't gotten to it yet.
yeah, if you were ever into Funko, my guest this week was Sully. He used to be part of the Funko group, and
Cool.
so, but good guy,
Cool. Cool. Cool.
lots of positivity. But anyway, so yeah, this has been a good one, Foz, man. I'm gonna tell you, this entire hour has gone by fast.
Has it already been an hour? I feel like we just started.
I know. It's been over an hour, and I'd love to keep it going, but I've noticed that the longer episodes, people start to turn them off. So it's like we've heard him enough. That's enough. But no, I could talk to you more. This has been great. I do want to tell you once again, you know, give you a chance, tell everybody where to find you and that way I can put on
Okay.
screen and everything else.
Okay, I'm at Foz Rotten across the internet. If you have something where you can search people, I'm Foz Rotten on the internet. Of course, I have music up everywhere, but specifically for the purposes of this, I want to talk about my band Boldly Go. We are a Star Trek punk rock band. Um, we have an album out called United Federation of Punks on Coffin Curse Records out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Great record label. They just had a whole showcase at the Punk Rock Museum in Vegas where they had released the I think it's 3 disc of a Green Day tribute album. So they had this like kind of like whole takeover of the museum down there, and I was so jealous watching everything going on. And shout out to Mike from Coffin Curse, he's the best. But everybody check them and all the bands out. We're lucky to be a part of it. But Boldly Go, Star Trek punk rock. If you just like fun songs about Star Trek, or if you just like punk rock, we're the band for you, man. And we're at Boldly Go Band everywhere. You can find us streaming everywhere. Just check us out.
I'll definitely be doing that. Now, uh, thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate you, and but thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you for your time and chatting with us, with me, and
Thank you, brother.
it was great. And until then, live long and prosper.